startup ecosystem are worth a total of $6.6 billion. Now, of this amount, $6 billion is concentrated in 5 cities. That's Cape Town, Lagos, Johannesburg, Nairobi, and Accra. This is one of the major findings in the Global Startup Ecosystem Report 2021, compiled by the World Leading Policy Advisory and Research Organization. When it comes to attractiveness for startups, Lagos leads the ranking of African cities according to data by Startup Blink. The Nigerian capital managed to outperform its direct competitors, Nairobi, Cape Town, and Johannesburg, in 2021, a trend that is likely to continue. Now we take a look at Nigeria's startup ecosystem, the opportunities and the market, with our searchlight on the Lagos market. Let's get talking now. Olushola Popola, President, Rich Vision Cooperative Multipurpose Society, joins me live in the studio this morning. Good morning to you.
Awesome morning to you too.
Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me on the program.
Now, let's look at the fact that Lagos takes the lead when it comes to attractiveness to startups in Africa. Now, this is according to data by Startup Blink for the year 2021. Outperforming cities like Nairobi, Cape Town, Johannesburg, and you wonder how we can leverage on this as a business, or rather how businesses can leverage on this.
Okay, once again, thank you for having me. Wow, this is a position that we should have attained quite a long time ago, given the population, the kind of people that we are, and being reckoned as the giants of Africa. So it's a position, you know, Nairobi has been at the top end there with Cape Town because of this. And when you look at the Nigerian system, an ecosystem comprises of people, companies, individuals, startups coming together, creating an environment, an enabling environment for them to thrive in business. Now, if we are supposed to have been here, what
considering the fact that Lagos was once the capital of Nigeria.
And initially, when we want to say that, is it because of development that's why we did not get there early? One, it's part of it. But when you look at in Nigeria, in the global setting, between Lagos, Ibadan, Lagos is the top, is the first, Ibadan, then Abuja. Infrastructurally, you could want to say that Abuja is more developed than Ibadan. But when it comes to the startup eco space, Ibadan ranks higher than Abuja. So you want
Isn't that interesting, considering the fact that Abuja is the capital, the federal capital territory?
Now, it now has to do with more, it's not just about the space, the environmental space. It has to do with the development of the people in the space. The development of the people in the space. And because this addresses more of technology, you want to look at where are technological-based companies, where are they most? We have more of them in Lagos. We have quite a number in Ibadan, because Ibadan shares like a boundary with
Lagos State.
With Lagos, so there's a kind of flow in and flow out. So,
in fact, we have some people working in Lagos and living in Ibadan.
So, and for you to rank, if you go through the rankings, and what makes this is what kind of environment has been created for startups to come together. Lagos has been intentional in this space, in this regards, because you see different the government putting up different hubs in different locations where startups can come together. Now we have better database where they can access and collaborate with themselves, unlike how it used to be. So now, if people, you that want to take advantage or leverage on it as a startup, then you have to come into the space. You can't stand outside the space and be...
Come into the space, the Lagos space.
Now, when we say come into the space, we're talking about get into the startup space, get to where the informations are. Mostly, these informations are accessed online and things. So what we are saying is, how can business people take advantage of this position? Most businesses should now be thinking more on how to digitalize their processes, digitalize their information system to make it available to the world. When it's available, there are other people in the space that want to collaborate and partner with you.
Okay, glad you clarified that, because when you said come into the space, I was wondering, we already have over 200 or 2,000 manufacturing companies, 200 financial institutions, and the largest collection of small and medium enterprises in Africa. And we know, of course, with the land mass or the space that Lagos has, it is small compared to this population of businesses and all of these companies that we have in the state. But how can business owners find a way to take advantage of these opportunities?
Yeah, just going back to it again. For a long time now, Lagos has been the largest metropolitan area city in Nigeria and in Africa. But even though it has been so, because we have not been in the technology space, or our presence has not been hitherto felt, we have been at the backstage. Now, we are moving towards, Lagos State is moving towards a kind of 24 hours economy gradually, because you see the young people, the growing adults, everyone on his laptop. Some you hear, I slept 2 a.m., working almost
That's
overnight.
because of digitalization.
Because of digitalization. So you will know that digitalization has enhanced the prominent growth of the startup ecosystem. So for new businesses or existing businesses to tap into this, to take advantage of this, that's why I said you should, or organizations should, try to digitalize their processes. How much is your presence online? There's someone that needs what you are doing. So
you don't have to necessarily come into the space.
No, you don't.
You can go
It's digital. It's digital. Most of the companies, the banks, the bank capitals, and the major banks, the companies that we are talking about, most of them, they have their spaces in Lagos. Most of the people that want to collaborate with you, that's the tools that you will use in being online. You have a lot of them, resources that are in the Lagos space. So when you come online and people are able to see you, they know what you're doing, they can easily collaborate with you as a person, as an organization.
Because one of the challenges that business owners face is the vehicular traffic when it comes to mobility. Looking at the population of 21 million in Lagos State, and being the 7th fastest growing city in the world, you'd see that a lot of people seem to want to come into the Lagos space to just get a share of the cake, because they feel Lagos is where it is happening. So I'm glad you're talking about the fact that, yes, we can go digital, but how much have we embraced this digitalization? Okay,
you see, digitalization also goes with the level of development of the area.
Because, sorry to butt in, you'd recall that during the COVID-19 pandemic, there was the work from home order, which seemed to have worked to a certain extent, but we know that it's still working in some places.
You have some bank officials today. I have some friends who are working in the banking sector. They've not resumed in their offices.
So where's the traffic coming from?
And the work is still just going on. The work is, but goods and services must move. It is easier to put services online, but the goods have to move from one location to the other. And apart from that, quite a number of people are yet to appreciate the digital space. A lot of people are yet to. Few persons, like if you go into the market now, go to Teju market, the Dumota market, many of them don't have their presence online. It's young entrepreneurs, startups that go to them and say, okay, I can help you market your stuff online. They are even afraid to even relate with them. So for you to pick, are you sure who is sending you? Security space there. Everybody wants to be, are you sure you are not just putting my shop online so that somebody will not just come and take, and they are afraid that somebody could take advantage of them. So the more people get that awareness, the digital space awareness, the power of the internet, you'll be surprised, most persons, what they use their mobile phone for is just to take calls. Meanwhile, that machine, that phone, that mobile phone that you have, it has more capacity than the first computer that sent man to the moon. The phone, I'm serious, that's the research. That phone has more capacity than the first computer that sent man to the moon. So you can imagine what you are carrying, but how much have you utilized it? You know that you can sit down in your office and get things done. You can sit down in your...
Even at home.
At home. A lot in those days, you can't even think of it that a banker is working from home. It's either, no, it's not possible. But today, necessity is the mother of invention. You know, when it became necessary, people started. Today, you see a lot of dispatch riders on the road, more than ever before. That means some people have understood that I can stay in my house, do my production, and get the product to the customer.
But traffic seems to have increased in the metropolitan city, despite the fact that technology is improving, digitalization is improving, people are beginning to appreciate technology, but we still see a lot of vehicular movement.
Yes, vehicular movement will increase and will continue to increase. And it will always, no matter how much the country or the state tries to develop. Let me give you this, it's just simple. A graduate leaves school, gets his job, one of his first prayer is to get a car. Now, he gets a car. There's this other person that has been working, praying to get a car. If he gets a car, he's still on this Lagos road. There's this man that has been working for 20 years. That car is almost wrecked. He still wants to put that car on the road. So now, because the number of cars are coming in, can we expand the road further?
Or can we explore the train option, like in developed countries?
So there has to be great developmental plan by the government to ease off this. But that the vehicular movement will not go to, even in Nairobi.
It could reduce drastically if we consider the train option and make it work effectively.
Yes, and that has to do with the developmental plan of the government. Individuals will not do this. It has to be the government. Even the ones that we have, the few ones that we have, how much have we maintained them? The maintenance culture is not there. The roads are dilapidated. So when you see vehicles, most of the gridlocks you see, it's not because it's anything, just because one little pothole somewhere there. Just because and thank God Lagos State is trying, the LASMA and all this stuff. I had an appointment on the island yesterday. I was going from Ojodu area to VI. And I spent close to 3 hours. Okay, I left the house at about 7, meeting up with my appointment. Oh, my appointment is going to be 9:30, that I should be there. I couldn't get, it was a kind of interview like this. I had to park somewhere to take it because of and when I got to the front there was absolutely nothing. It was just maybe a car broke down. Now, if a truck broke down and the system is effective enough to take that vehicle quickly out of the road, it will curb a lot of... So the response time delays of the transport people, the developmental and the maintenance of the roads, and possibly, because we don't know how soon it's going to be, putting the rail system to function as we have in advanced countries.
And now let's extend this traffic gridlock further. Two of the nation's largest seaports, Apapa and Tinkan Port, are located in Lagos State. And Lagos is also Nigeria's aviation hub. Now, some stakeholders have called for the decentralization of these ports. For instance, we have ports in other places like Port Harcourt. But when goods have to go to Port Harcourt, they still have to come through Lagos. Hence, the long-fought traffic gridlock, the Apapa gridlock. Yes. It's been there for ages, and the state government seems to not have a solution. You know, when Governor Sanwo-Olu came into office, he said within 6 months he was going to tackle that gridlock. But we see that it still persists.
Well, when you talk about the gridlock there, I will not say it's beyond the state government. The state government can put some things in place, but it's more of the federal might. When I say the federal might, you know, the seaport is controlled by the federal. If it is gazetted that this should be done, you know, it's one thing for us to want to do something. There's another thing, the willpower to do it. Are we ready to do it? It's not that it can't be done.
So are you aligning yourself with the school of thought that there are some political inclinations?
Highly political, highly, because some people are benefiting from the current situation. And as long as they continue to benefit, they will not prefer solution. And if solutions are preferred, they will stifle it so that it does not see the light of the day. So it takes someone, a government, it's not rocket science. We know what is the capacity of this port. What are the other capacity? What is the capacity of the other ports? What should we put in place? These are not beyond, they are not, it's not rocket science. It's not they are not things that are out of this world. These are things that if any government is sincere and wants to really do it, you can get it done in a fiscal year. But because the willpower is not there, you are not the one manufacturing the equipment. You are buying them and bringing them in. And if you talk about the Lagos port, it's generating enough revenue that can even fund and finance itself.
So but the gridlock is majorly caused by these trucks which have to stay on the road for days.
There must be gridlocks if the facilities are not effectively used. Now, look at, you sit down, somebody sat down in Lagos State and said, why is there traffic in this place? If we put a roundabout here, okay, let's cancel this roundabout. Instead of a roundabout, can we put a flyover? You know, that was done. You get to this, what's this area? Ogba, I think it's Agege, the Penn Cinema, the Penn Cinema area. In those days, those are places that you will dread to go through. But today, you can just drive past that place without even knowing that you passed through that place. The Oshodi area. Because of somebody sat down and said, this is what we want to do. And the willpower to do it is there. Now, if you look at that area, the number of trucks coming in, there are machines, there are equipments that are to aid checking, clearing, and all the processing. But human, in their own nature, tamper with these things so that you will manually pass through one or two persons. And why should I manually pass through the people? Is for me to, you know, settle here, settle there, settle. So you think those people are going to make the system to work? They will continue to frustrate the system so that they can continue to have a business, illicit business that they will be doing.
So how do we deal with this issue?
As I said, it takes a government with a will power.
Okay. Now let's talk about tax incentives. The Lagos State government in 2020 announced additional tax incentives and reliefs for businesses and individuals in the state. That's part of measures to curb the effect or cushion the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic on business owners. What impact do you think this had on business owners? And do you think it is a welcome development that the state government should embrace?
Yeah, it's in fact a very, very great welcome development. It's because look at what businesses had gone through during the pandemic. A lot of businesses had to let go their staffs because they cannot maintain this. And taxes, if I've not generated enough revenue, even when the few revenues that I generated, because I have to pay some costs that are not directly attributing or contributing to any income now, the revenue is easily depleted. So the government reducing it and, you know, giving that concession, it's awesome, and it makes you know that you have a listening government. You have people that are listening to you, and they have the welfare of the people at heart. So, but more can still be done.
So how often do you think it should be done, and what should inform that kind of decision? Yeah,
economic indices, and because these things are not done, these are not things that are done emotionally. They should be based on information, data that are gathered. Presently, look at what the inflation rate is saying, look at what exchange rate is saying. How easy is it for me or individuals to do business? We can look at this. If you look at the monetary policies in the advanced countries, when the feds, when they are meeting, you see that they look at all the things that are going on, they see what is going on, and they say, okay, we're going to reduce interest rates, or we're going to increase interest rates to control the level of inflation and things. So why can they take that decision? because they have data to support it. They know what the consumption rate is. They know what every other thing that is going on. But when we don't have those kind of data, it will be difficult for government intervention to come up in certain areas. So one of the principal things that any government we want to do is to enhance or to improve its data collection system. Data rules the world. I'm not talking of
of course, statistics.
Statistics,
Yeah,
exactly.
so in wrapping up, you know, Lagos State has about 21 million, that's a population of about 21 million as at the last census. But if you look at the population of Nigeria, in total we have over 200 million people. And so Lagos is about 10% of the whole nation, of the population of the whole nation. And then we see that a lot of businesses are here. Do we have enough resources to cater to these businesses? Because we now see that the land, there's a limitation in land acquisition, thereby having business owners locating or establishing their businesses in residential areas, releasing harmful chemicals and substances to risk the lives of residents.
Great. Now, Lagos country having almost 10% of the population, and you must also know that because of the number of people that are in Lagos, Lagos is presently contributing about 10% to the Nigerian GDP. I get it. Now, what I think the federal should do, it comes to the federal, the state, the individuals. Now, what the federal should do is, you know, where this is a cash cow, because Lagos is like a cash cow and some other state, but Lagos is principally a cash cow to the Nigerian economy, take away oil and other stuff. So what do you want to do? You want to feed the cow that produces that milk very well. You want to take care of that cow. So the federal government should be more involved in things that are, you know, developmental things going on in Lagos. Now, the federal will not just jump on Lagos. Lagos should have its own plan. The government of Lagos has its own developmental plan. This is what we are doing, and this is how we hope to achieve it. This is how much we have gone. This is what we need.
In the area of land that will come to the urban development.
In the land development, you know, we are doing a lot of acquisition on the sea, the dredgings and things that are going on, taking more space from the waters and things. If the state government alone is to face that project, I tell you, it's not going to do anything. That's why they try to get some private sectors to be involved in it. But what if we have the federal might coming into it, expanding the space for the people to operate?
I think that's about how much we can take for today. But I know there's still so much to talk about, but we'll just leave it there. Thank you so much, Olusola Popola, President, Rich Vision Cooperative Multipurpose Society, for being a part of Business Breakfast this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And have a great day.